Hello, everybody. Welcome to our Saturday webinar. This is becoming now a mentoring webinar because we are going to be having a lot of guests on. A lot of rock stars, as Jared Yellen says, for life rock stars. So, first of all, I want to say welcome. Happy Saturday morning, Saturday evening, wherever you might be in the world. And appreciate y'all joining in today. I've got some great stuff to share with you. And I want to begin by sharing something that's a little bit of an invention that I came across. And I don't know, this idea just popped in my head. So I'm going to share something with you guys that's coming up. This is it right here. Y'all can see this. This is the new energy. Actually, I see it spelled backwards, but it's the new energy tropical ghost sticks. You guys, these ghost sticks are awesome. It's my favorite so far of all the ghost sticks. We started with orange, which was a little bit eh. It was good for some, but it didn't feed my palate well. But then we came out with berry, and I loved the berry ghost sticks. Then we came out with pink lemonade, which was very good. And then they reformulated the orange now, so it tastes great. It kind of reminds me of Tang, the Tang that the astronauts would drink in space. And now with the tropical, what you do, if you really want a good boost in the morning, take your tropical ghost sticks, mix it with ProTF. Get this around. Here we go. ProTF protein. It's upside down. You guys all get it. All right. Take 1 scoop of ProTF, 1 ghost sticks, put it in a nice either shaker cup. Gabby just made this for me this morning. So I'm going to be maybe sipping on this throughout the webinar a little bit. So I encourage you, try it. Tastes awesome. It reminds me of those Stewart's. Was it Stewart's? I forget the name. No, it starts with an S. Anyhow, they're orange dreamsicle. So it tastes really good. So there you go. Tropical ghost sticks with protein. So those ghost sticks, I think they're going to be available coming up here on May 1st to order. They don't even have the SKU in yet, but being platinum, they tend to send us samples. So there's another reason to get to platinum, you guys. All right. So you're all on here. So you're all on the road to platinum. What I want to do today is, of course, mention our new group, Synduit. There's a lot of things. It's very fluid right now, what we're going to be doing. I've been working a lot with some of the golds and platinums, especially Kevin Moore, Barry Blake, Ray Muir, and Jeff Altgilbers. We've been talking a lot, working together. And I'll be bringing more of you in as well as we continue with this group, because there are some of you that have been with us for quite a while, and For Life has become your lifestyle. And you may have a good example is Marcos Rivera. I remember when I met him, he was just a kid. I mean, he was probably like still in his teens doing For Life. And now, Marcos Rivera, the big beast Marcos, bodybuilder. He's a trainer, great guy, and very dedicated in building For Life. And he just is a good example of someone that consistently just moves along, building and growing and building and growing, and doing it the right way and without stress. And he's just moving along. He's very young. And in fact, has his first baby, I believe, first child. So congratulations, Marcos. And so anyhow, there's a lot of people like that in For Life. And I apologize if I miss names. I will be, throwing names and shout outs now and then to people that have been involved and those that are just joining. For example, I did a trip to Kenya, got back last week, and I met the number 3 money earner in Forever Living. And I probably shouldn't mention the company, but nevertheless, he's a doctor, and he came to my event, and he even stood up in front of everybody and gave a quick 10-minute presentation. And I love what he said. He said, I want you all to take a piece of paper, and when you wake up in the morning, after 30 minutes of being awake, write down, just real quick note, what you did the past 30 minutes. And then do it again, 30 minutes later, maybe 45 minutes later, don't an hour max. Write down what happened during that 30 minutes or hour. What'd you do? Well, do it again. Do it throughout the day. And then do the same thing the next day. In other words, just keep a little log. He said, by the end of a month, do it for 1 month. He said, take it and stack it all together and right on the front a title, "This is how to fail in my life." Because time management is essential. That's one thing we all have the same amount of, and that is time. So it's very important that we learn how to manage our time. And I want to start this because these are mentoring calls, and we were focusing a lot on Ditto Talk, and I'll bring that up a little bit in a minute. But these are mentoring calls, and so you're going to be getting different topics, different subjects each time. And we're actually going to even be creating a nice little library with some of these videos where if somebody wants to click on, time management or prospecting ideas and things like that. So we actually are going to be building up a nice little library. But today I want to talk a bit about um, your time, how you manage your time. And this takes me all the way back to when I started network marketing. I was 21, just going on 22 when I had started in this business of network marketing. And I did have a little bit of people skills in that I had served a mission for my church. And in coming back from that, after being gone for 2 years, that did teach me how to talk to people. Because at first I was very afraid, especially in Spanish. I mean, all I could say was "Hola" and "Cómo está." So to learn a new language and then have to talk to people. But after doing it for 2 years, you do anything for 2 years, day in, day out, you can't help but get better at it. And the same applies in this business. So when I came back from my mission, I got into network marketing, but there's something I learned very quickly, and that is that you are who you associate yourself with. We're just like the people that we hang around with. Well, as it turned out, that my circle group that I would hang around with when I came back home was young 18, 19, 20, 21 year olds. And there really was nobody older than me. And so it was my age and below. And what I learned was, even though my level of maturity might have been a little bit higher because I had just come back from being on a mission and was living that kind of life and working really hard for 2 years. So I was driven and I had ambitions, and desires and goals and so forth. And of course, we all want to have financial independence. And so, as a young 20-year-old or 21-year-old, I had all these desires. But what I found was the people that I was associating myself with on a daily basis, they did not have the same ambitions and goals and dreams and desires that I did. And so I found myself when I was associating with them just doing things that kids do, and really most of the time it was wasting time. Now, I'm not saying that, you shouldn't have a social life and we shouldn't get out and have fun. Of course we should. But just remember, there's a few things I feel that are very important. You are who you associate yourself with. Your income level will closely resemble the income of those you associate with. I was hanging out with young 18, 19, 20, 21 year olds. None of them were making a lot of money, and neither was I at the time. And so I was comfortable at that level because we were all on the same level, if you will. Also, your attitude closely resembles the attitude of those that you associate yourself with. See, my hair's sticking up here. Sorry. Anyhow, um, very important. If you want to change, I apologize. I think my camera, I'm getting so emotional here, my camera's shaking. If you want to make changes in life, you need to surround yourself with people that you want to be like. People, not you have to be like them, but you want your income level to be close to their income level, your attitude close to resemble their attitude. And that's why when we have these groups and we have events and we have meetings and webinars and conventions and rallies and regional events and so forth, it's very important to attend those because those are the people that you want to associate with. Those are the attitudes that you want to be around, and the income level as well of those people that have been there, done it, and made it to the top. So I encourage you, and I also congratulate you for being on this call because here you are taking your Saturday morning, you're here joining in. So very important, all right? Look at your circle of influence, all right? Let's talk about that for a minute. What is your circle of influence like? Well, when I was 21 years old, my circle of influence really was very small, all right? And some people have a huge circle of influence. Take someone, well, just like this gentleman I met in Kenya, Dr. Ojina. He's got a big circle of influence, being the number 3 money earner in a company that's been around since the 70s and all over the world, and here he was earning a lot of money at one point, but timing is everything, and everything's kind of dropped way down for him simply because of timing. Been around, done it, hit momentum already. They're basically in stabilization mode, just trying to maintain stability. He sees us expanding, growing, momentum. That's what he desires. That's where he wants to be part of. And I just got a message this morning. Call Dr. Ogini. He wants to talk to me. So why does he want to talk to me? I guarantee you it's because he wants to be part of what's happening here. That's why we do this. We create this energy, we create this momentum, and we keep it going. And that's what the Synduit group's all about. And so if you're not involved in it, get on it. Facebook.com/groups. And I can type it in here for you in a minute in the chat. /Synduit for life. And Synduit is SYNDUIT. I'll spell it in the chat here in just a second. And Corey, if you're on, you can put it in the chat as well. I'm flipping over to the chat here. If you can hear me, Corey, if you're on here, please put in the chat the Facebook group, just so everybody knows. I encourage you to join in, and that way you're associating yourself with people that want to move, that are moving in the direction that you want to move to. But let's get back to your circle of influence. Some people have a big circle of influence, and some people, their only influence they have is over their dog, And I don't say that to be mean or facetious or anything like that, but I'm trying to make a point. And that as we, grow in life, in business, and even socially, we have the desire as human beings to associate with other human beings. If you've ever seen the movie I Am Legend with Will Smith, look what happens to someone that has nobody to associate yourself with. He had a dog, and that was it. So he started, talking to mannequins and dummies because he needed to interact with someone. So as people, we need people. We need each other. I need you. You need me. We need each other. Okay. So now, who is it that you are associating with, and what is your circle of influence like? Doesn't matter. Let's say that your circle of influence right now may be small, and let's say that you're the type of person that's gotten involved, in network marketing in the past. You went out, you hit your warm market, talked to a lot of people, and for whatever reason, it didn't work out the way you wanted. And of course, people look for the blame game, and everybody point the finger at you and say, "Oh, you got me into this, and it didn't work out. I'm never going to do it again." Well, here's my attitude on that. Okay, are you always going to base tomorrow's successes on yesterday's failures? If that's the case, we should all just sit on the couch and do nothing. Because think about it. Steve Jobs, Bill Gates, how many times did they try before they finally had something that made it big? All right. So many times we do go back to the drawing board and we look at ourselves and analyze, what are we doing right? What are we doing wrong? What can we change, and so forth? That's called progression. That's called education. That's learning. That's building. That's growing. All the above. So that's what we do. Okay. Nothing is perfect. This isn't perfect. So if somebody expects it to be perfect, I'm sorry. What in your life is perfect? Nothing. Okay. So this is the same. This business is like a little seed. Once you plant it inside of you, the only way that it's going to grow and you're going to grow is if you feed it constantly, water it, give it nutrition, bread for the head, knowledge. That creates confidence. The confidence makes you feel better. It makes you go out and create action because you do feel confident, and that action converts into results. All right. But you can't go from knowledge to results. There's a process. There's a process to building this business. So here's a few things that I did as I started building my business. And this goes way back to when I was being mentored, by the people I looked up to, my mentors, Joe Land and some of the others, Jeff Roberti from, some of you might have heard of him. He's been a multi-gazillionaire, in his 20s, way back in the 80s, not in his 20s anymore, lives in Sarasota, Florida. But I learned a lot from all these people that I've been around throughout the years in this business. And so one of the things I learned, your circle of influence, all right, you still, even if you feel like you're in the NFL, no friends left because you've talked to them all, and you might feel you destroyed your circle of influence, it's okay. Happened to me too. I got involved in network marketing. I did make a little bit of money in the beginning. It went down the tubes, got into another company, worked at it, became a millionaire in my 20s, late 20s. And that company took a nosedive and it crashed, caught on fire. All right. But my point is, I learned from it. And here's what I learned from both of those opportunities, actually. The first one, I learned try not to die because the individual who passed away was the CEO of the company. And I guess the real lesson I learned from that is that whoever's running your company can control your life. In our case, it's David and Bianca Lisenby, Steve too, the executives at For Life. They can make decisions at any moment that affect us. And that's why I encourage people to watch the video on YouTube and subscribe to the For Life Research official YouTube channel. Watch a video in there, and I'm going to type it in here. It's called David and Bianca Lisenby's For Life Journey. I apologize if I misspelled it. But David and Bianca Lisenby's For Life Journey. As they talk about it, David mentions how seriously he takes this partnership of us with them. He's acutely aware of our dependence. A lot of us. Look at my family. Can you imagine if something happened to For Life? And I'd go from hero to zero overnight, okay, and find myself at my age starting all over again, which I can't even fathom that, to be honest with you. So I feel very blessed, okay? But back then, I learned that when the CEO passed away and a Japanese firm took over the company, they destroyed it. They came in and made decisions that I had no control over. And so I moved on. Second company I was with, it was all driven by just money. It was all about who had the fastest Ferrari or Lamborghini. And there's nothing wrong with Ferraris and Lamborghinis. Hey, I may have one day. Who knows? The point is, if that's your sole basis, and that's the only thing that drives you, you will get it. You will get money. But guess what? In the meantime, as you do that, you'll walk all over people, you'll hurt people. I'm not saying money hurts people. What I'm saying is if that's the sole mission statement of the company to make money, well, you'll make money, but you'll burn through people and you'll find people will go out the back door as fast as they come in the front door. Some will make money, but it will not be long term. Now let's take For Life. I love our slogan, together building people. Now, when I joined For Life, before I joined For Life, I would not sign an application until I got to look David Lisenby in the face and have a heart-to-heart talk with him. And that's because I'd already been in this industry for 18 years. I was 38 years old, had a new girlfriend, Gabby, and Gabby, we were dating, and those of you probably know this already. I couldn't pay for the first date. She paid for it. And guess where we went to eat? It was like a Denny's. It was called Caro's Restaurant. And I couldn't even pay for it. I had no car. So she had to drive. She had to pay for it. I mean, guys, that's embarrassing. But hey, we did it, and here we are today. Okay, so it's okay. But my point is that I had to start at the very bottom all over again, and I disassociated myself with the people that I was previously with in other companies. Why? To me, they were like cancer. I didn't want that in For Life. I did not want that attitude, that same attitude of, let's go rent a whole bunch of Mercedes Benz and let's all line them up and park them together and sit in front of them or stand in front of them, take a picture and put that out there and say, hey, this is our lifestyle. That's a lie. Okay. So I didn't want that attitude in For Life. So when I met David Lisenby, that day changed my life. And that's why I encourage people, you need to attend every meeting, every webinar, every conference you can. Why? Some are going to be life changing and you never know which ones they are. I learned that from Jim